Welcome back to the podcast, Catch It, A New Perception. My name is Katuk. I encourage you to subscribe. I encourage you to share this with others. Moving forward through life, we continue to see things different. From my point of view, I think continuing to catch a new perception, a new perspective, a new view on life is helpful. To be able to see things different than I did yesterday. To be able to see things different than I did last week, last month, or last year is good for me. If you want to continue to change the way you see the world, the way you feel about yourself, the way you see the people around you, the way you feel about the people around you, I encourage you to continue to tune in. Listen to these podcasts. Maybe listen to each episode more than once. Begin to absorb it into your subconscious and realize that we have much to learn moving forward. We get to know our higher selves, and we can continue to get to know our higher selves. It's not something that we accomplish, it's something we work towards. It's something that we obtain at moments. It's something that we obtain little pieces of, is getting to know our higher self through a new perception. Are you willing to catch a new perception today? There's so many things on my mind, and one of them is how we move through nature. How nature is around us. How some of us are aware, some are not aware. Some are more conscious of different things. Each one of us individually is a unique manifestation of Creator. Each one of us have our own journey. Each one of us has the ability to return to the spirit world in our own time. So as we continue on this journey in this lifetime in human form, some of us will learn certain things that other people won't, because we choose to see it differently. Recently I was talking to someone about the buffalo, the bison. Call it what you will. Use your terminology. I think about how I have at times been faced with certain things in my life, and I have struggled with the idea of moving forward. I have struggled with the idea of what's in front of me. It may be because of fear, and I don't want to walk into it because I have fears wrapped up around it. There's a whole idea on why the fears may be there, what the fears are about, how they were created, or why they still exist. I get that. Then there's other things that are, some people might call them shortcomings, some people might call them defects of character, some people may call them flaws, some people may call that our humanness. There might be a lot of different terminology. There are certain difficulties that we live with within ourselves that we attempt to change or have removed or see differently so that they're not in the way. So thinking about this buffalo and how the buffalo moves through life, how the buffalo sees things. For example, when the storm is coming, a winter storm is coming, and a buffalo turns and looks directly west as that storm begins to come. And it walks slowly, and the herd of buffalo follow. So you have this entire herd of buffalo walking west directly into this storm. And this storm will form icicles on the face of the buffalo. The fur has an inch of snow on it. and the head of the buffalo is massive, and it's walking directly into the storm. All the icicles and snow frozen to the face of the buffalo. And they trudge forward, directly west, into the storm. And when I first see this, I think, why wouldn't they take shelter? Why wouldn't they take the easy way? Why wouldn't they do it different? Why wouldn't they turn away from it? And then it comes to me, maybe through my spirit guides, not sure how this came to me. What I realize is that the buffalo walks into the storm so that it can get through it. It faces it head on, literally head on. So figuratively, if we can face our fears head on and walk into them, or our flaws, our defects, whatever they may be, if we can walk directly into them, the way the buffalo walks into the storm, a snowstorm, a rainstorm, whatever it is, it walks directly into it because it will get to the other side sooner. The storm will be in the past in a short time when the buffalo walks into it. It is walking into it to get through it. It is facing it to put it in its past. It will be behind them sooner. The entire herd of buffalo will have the storm behind them in no time because they walk directly into it so it passes. Now, if they're walking away from it, the storm follows them. The storm is moving slow and it's kind of circling around, and it's in this circular motion, and the buffalo are walking away from it. They are in the storm for hours, maybe days, maybe longer. When they face it and they walk into it, they get through it quicker. What happens to us as spiritual beings having a human experience? What happens to us when we face our fears and we walk into them? I believe we get the same result as the buffalo walking into the storm. We get through it quicker. It doesn't linger. It doesn't last forever. What happens when we face the difficulties and the flaws in our life and we realize, I'm a very flawed human being. I may struggle with certain things. How do we move forward? By facing it, not by walking away from it. So how many things in our life can we walk into and get the result that we want quicker, more efficiently, or possibly receive the result when if we walked away from it, we would never get the same result? Either we face it and get through it, we try to walk away from it and it follows us. Just like that storm would follow the buffalo. Like it never goes away. It's always here. Why is the fear always here? The fear is always here because we don't face the fear. We don't walk into it. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is having the fear and choosing to walk into it. The courage of a buffalo. I've spoke of the arrogance of human beings and how I think that it's ugly. The grandiosity, the egotism, whatever you may call that in a human being. I think it's ugly. I see it in a lot of people pumping their chest. They think they're something special because they happen to be good at one thing that they do, or they accomplished something. So they want you to look at me, see me. What if they just acted as a good human being outside of there and people saw that? So I don't care for arrogance. I don't care for grandiosity or whatever that might be on human beings. Just don't care for it. On a buffalo, is it arrogance when he walks into the storm? I don't know how many people have ever seen a buffalo or heard a buffalo walking directly into a snowstorm with the icicles, with an inch of snow on its face, and it appears to not be fazed by it. It just continues to walk into it. Is that arrogance? I don't think so. I'm not sure what it takes. I don't necessarily think that certain animals live with compassion. I get it. I think that they don't have certain emotions we have. I think they move through life differently than we do. And some of it I could learn from them. Is a mountain goat arrogant when it can stand on the rocks and walk up this straight mountain of rocks with no gloves, no rope, no powder, nothing? It just walks straight up these rocks and looks at that cheetah, and that cheetah can't get him. Can't get to her. It's not happening. She's standing next to this little baby goat, this small kid. Nobody can touch them. Is that arrogance? I don't think so. Might kind of look like it because they sure do look sweet. When that hawk or the eagle sits on top of that light post in the middle of a cold upper Midwest winter and the storm just blows by them, they look like the buffalo. Degrees below zero, a storm is just finished, the wind is still blowing, and the hawk, red-tailed hawk on the top of a street lamp, just faces the wind. Unbelievable. I have so much to learn from nature. I have so much to learn from the animals that walk the earth that are not human. I have much to learn from the humans. I have much to learn. I'm grateful that I have learned the lessons I have learned up to this point. I am grateful for the point of view that I have. Not that it needs to stay the same. What's happened is I've opened my mind. Are you ready to open your mind? Are you ready to hear something different? Are you ready to see the world different because you opened your mind? Or do you want to feel the same way you've always felt? React the same way you've always reacted? Continue to act the same way you've always acted? If you want that in your world, it's all waiting for you. If you want something different, you can go get it. I suggest that you walk directly into the snowstorm. You will get through it, and you will get to the sunshine that much quicker. Looking forward to next time. Live in harmony with and use the bounty of the land to bring kindness to the world. Dok Shao Ke.